Now that we've taken a look at the validation methods, I want us to look at a new validates method that was just introduced in Rails 3. What this is essentially is a shortcut for using the other validation methods. So the methods we've just seen continue to exist. You can continue to use them, but we also now have this shortcut available to us. And you'll sometimes hear them referred to as sexy validations. To see what they are, let's first take a look at a regular validation. You see we call 5 different validates methods on email. So we're validating its presence, its length, its uniqueness, its format, and its confirmation. What the validates method does is wrap all of this up into one method so that we can call it like this: validates email, comma, and then we pass in a hash of all the validations that we want to run. And for each one of those elements in the hash, guess what it does? It calls those old validations. So it's just a wrapper that gives us a shortcut. Validates email presence true, validates length maximum 50, uniqueness true, format with email regex, confirmation true. You can see why people refer to them as being sexy. There's a lot less typing, and it's a lot clearer that what we're talking about is all of these validations performed on this one attribute. Let's take a look at the full syntax of the validates method. So validates attribute, and then we can have presence, numericality, length, and for length we can pass in any of the options we saw before: is, minimum, maximum, within, and then format. For format, you can pass in the with, a regular expression. You can actually take another shortcut and just pass in the regular expression itself. So format, and then the arrow followed by the regular expression. You don't have to put it inside the hash with. Same thing for inclusion and exclusion. You can just put the array or range and skip the step of in. This shortcut wrapper will add it back in for you before it calls the old method. And then for acceptance, uniqueness, and confirmation, we just pass in a Boolean. Now, what about messages? Before we had the ability to configure the different messages. Well, unfortunately, that's not something that's quite as easy to do here. You probably can still pass in messages to length, format, inclusion, and exclusion, and because they're inside that options hash, they'll just get passed along to the old method. But there's no guarantee of that, and there's no really good way right now to do it with the other ones: presence, numericality, acceptance, uniqueness, and confirmation. Now that may change. In the coming weeks and months, they may update the code to address that, but for the moment, if you need to customize the message, your best bet is to go back to the old validations. Let's try putting a sexy validation into our admin user model. So I'm just going to open up admin user. So I'll just comment this all out right here. So these will all just be the standard validation methods. And then below it, though, I'm going to put the new sexy validations. And I'll just paste those in so we can see the difference. Now notice the difference in how much typing is involved in each of those. So the first one's very clear. For first name, we're doing the presence and the length. For last name, we've got presence and length. Username, length, and uniqueness. Validates, we've got presence, length, format, and confirmation. Much more concise and much clearer what our requirements are for each one of these attributes. I think it's pretty straightforward, so we're not going to spend a lot more time on it. But if you want, you can go back in and put in the sexy validations for your subject, page, and section models as well.